Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the greatest beer run ever. And this is a new Apple TV Plus film from writer-director Peter Farrelly, who previously had tackled racism in Green Book and now wants to tackle Vietnam. Very bold choices for his first couple of dramatic turns as a director, because, he is one half of the Farrelly brothers who did make Dumb and Dumber. But this film focuses on Chicky, who, during Vietnam, he's home in Brooklyn, which also, are these Brooklyn accents in this film? I don't know. They seem off to me. But, I'm not from Brooklyn. So, I'm from New Jersey, South Jersey specifically. So maybe they're right, I'm wrong, but it seemed weird. But anyway, so this young man from Brooklyn winds up going to Vietnam to try to cheer up his friends by bringing them American beer from home. And he gets caught up in all kinds of crazy stuff, and he begins this story very specifically. It's like, we need to support the troops. The media is doing terrible things. Gets in arguments with his sister, who's protesting the war. And of course, throughout the film, he experiences the war and then sings a different tune by the end of the film. And I have to say, the writing for this film, for all the messaging and the themes and stuff like that, feels like a 16-year-old who just learned about Vietnam is just like, I have opinions. And it's just like, do you? Because this just feels like a contrived, blunt force trauma to the head of, these are how people felt about things. And none of it feels nuanced. None of it feels like it has tons of depth. It's just throwing out as many different perspectives as you could think of. And that's why I feel like this film is very clunky in that way. You have certain sequences, like this film's over 2 hours. And like the first half of the film, I feel like it was moving and we're getting this idea. It comes to a screeching halt halfway through and then really has to reconfigure itself and then feels a bit like a different movie. I do have to say, Farrelly does direct some of the more intense moments well. There's an invasion of a city towards the end of the film that really did hit. But there's other moments where he had an opportunity to really dig deep with some resonance and emotion and chose to just stick it with laughs or not dive enough into it. Some of the parts of the film do feel melodramatic. And the music, I feel like, in general, is emotive and works from Dave Palmer, but there's other moments where it feels like it's trying to be, like you could feel it manipulating you. In general, I think Zac Efron is so charismatic and such a great lead in this film. You connect with him because Zac Efron has so much charisma. You have Russell Crowe's character, who's more predominantly in the second half of the film, and Russell Crowe's a great actor, has great presence. Bill Murray, mostly in the first half of the film, as the guy who runs the bar that they all go to. The two of them in this film are such great actors, but basically their characters are just walking representations of ideas, and they just spew ideas. But, they're convincing doing it. In general, though, this film is enjoyable at times. It does hit deeper at other points as well, but I do feel like this is a big undertaking, and it wasn't completely handled with the best touch. It feels awkward. It feels like somebody not ready to try to tackle and balance all these ideas. And if it wasn't for Zac Efron, I think this film really would not be something you'd want to sit through, especially at a 2 hour and 7 minute runtime that does feel stretched, does feel over long. But you do enjoy the moments of him getting to see his friends, and, along the way, he's learning a lesson or two. But those are my thoughts on the greatest beer run ever. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.